Hello and welcome to the 2024 Malaysian Grand Prix from the Sepang International Circuit. On pole once again, to the great surprise of everybody, it's Emma Kickert again. Still has been on pole every single race so far, and still looking for that second win from pole position this year. 7/10 slower than her in qualifying, but still on the front row is Felipe Nicola for Holiday, the defending champion, of course, and the man currently 21 points behind in the championship fight. He'll look to continue to gain ground on points leader Takuma Taki in this race. On the second row of the grid, we've got Dan Greenlaw, his teammate, and Marco Jancher in the Euromotor, again showing greatly improved pace over the past couple of races thanks to the Goodyear tire upgrades that they've been rolling out. So we'll see if Jancher could maybe potentially sneak a win in this race. Starting fifth, it's Edvard Holm for Simpson, and Takuma Taki for Racing Point. Both of those drivers, well, together with Nicola, they've all won 3 races and are looking to break the tie with their 4th win of the season so far this year. We've got both of the Mark 16s on the 4th row of the grid. That's Magda Zavansky and Fina Watson. We've had a very poor run of reliability that's seen the team plummet down to 12th in the constructors table, so they'll be hoping to get a good result here and at least try and close out the season strong. And on row 5, we've got Bradley Dagnall for Euromotor and Amy Gauthier in the second Racing Point. On row 6, we've got both of the Czech-mates, Andrei Kremnitsky outqualifying his teammate Václav Mališ. Mališ took a bit of a hit in the point standings last race, and if he's going to hold himself in the title fight, I think he can't really afford any more retirement, so he'll be hoping to have a good run in this race. The Bentleys line up behind them. That's Pierre Saint-Laurent, just ahead of Kaelon. Bentley has been another team that's been improving over the last few races. They as well seem to be gaining the benefit of the Goodyear tire upgrade. So we'll see if they're able to continue to build on that increase in form. Diego Alvarez Torrente will start 15th for Jones, alongside Akira Yamamura. The Adriatica team does seem to have lost a bit of a step over the past couple of races. I think it's... I do wonder if of course, Anunvozu currently being excluded for this and the next 2 races, that may be having... Well, no, not the next 2 races. This is the 3rd race of her ban. It's expires after the next race, sorry. But yeah, regardless, her not being with the team currently is probably... it may be hurting them in terms of, like, setting up the car, possibly. I'm not entirely sure, but in any case, 16th is a bit disappointing for them. And then on the 9th row of the grid, we've got Nathaniel Cameron and Imani Burrell, still finding her feet in the ARWS, I think Burrell is. We've got Alberto Cara and Ben Fleet on the 10th row of the grid. Cara for Yonglong and Fleet for Foxdale, of course. Cara has been certainly trying to make an outside championship bid in this over the past few races, so we'll see if he can continue and continue to build on that. We've got Martin McFry and Malik Zidane on the 11th row of the grid. McFry also has been running at the finish of every race so far this season. We'll see if he can continue that record here. On row 12, we've got Naoki Shinjo for Mecha and Aurora Summers in the peak. And on the final row of the grid is Fu Wen and Carmen Alvarez Torrente. And with that, the start of the race is just moments away. There we go. Engines are fired here at Sepang. Just waiting for the lights to go out. And it is green! It's a fantastic start for Marco Janser, who's just jumped right ahead to the lead the pack into the first corner. But on the inside, that's Dan Greenlaw there looking for the lead. Can't quite get alongside Janser. He'll hold on to second place, though, ahead of teammate Philippe Nicolas. Taki's up to fourth, and Kicker again with a very poor start. She's down to fifth and has lost her rear wing. My goodness, I think that must have been contact with Bradley Dagnall. So, Kickert's season continues to be completely luckless on lap 1. From pole down to 5th by the first quarter, and then loses her rear wing in the bargain. Dagnall up to 5th place, and Gauthier there with a good start as well. She's fighting Magda Srfanski for 6th place. Pierre Saint-Laurent, an excellent start for him. He's up to 8th position now. So Yamamura in 9th, and Holm seems to have had a bit of a poor start himself. He's down to 10th place, but it is Marco Janser leading this one currently. Fantastic start for the Euromotor ahead of both of the holidays. And as ever, it's Takuma Taki sneaking his way up into the top 4. Right in position to minimize any potential gain from Philippe Nicolas in this race. But of course, we've still got the best part of 58 laps remaining. As looks like the holidays are looking to form a bit of a swap here. Nicolas, of course, with the championship on the line. His teammate allows him through without any trouble at all. And Nicolas through to second place at the end of lap 1. Gauthier here in the tow as well, looking to potentially make a move on Srfanski into turn 1. Can't, not close enough to make the move there though. Saint-Laurent, very good start. He's up to 8th. We've got Holm 9th, Yamamura. Watson, poor start for him. He's down in 11th. Cameron's moved up on the first lap from, where is that, 17th to 12th. Kremnitsky, yeah, it looks like it was a bit of a poor start for the checkmates. Kalon in 14th. McFry, great start for him, 15th. Malish in 16th. Then it's Diego Alvarez Torrente, Burrell, Cara. When Summers there taking a look to the inside of Cara for 20th. Shinjo Fleet, Zidane, Carmen Alvarez Torrente, and just returning to the race, it is Emma Kicker, but we've got a change for the lead here. On lap 2 is Philippe Nicolas, not wasting any time here at all. Gets a great run out of the clear curve, and he will take the lead from Marco Janser there. They'll be hoping to build a gap in these early laps here, and if you can't get a if you can't really gain a good point swing, at least he can score a moral victory by having a massive lead, if assuming Taki doesn't have any issues in dealing with Janser and Greenlaw. Is Greenlaw really pressuring Janser for that second place here? I think he's lining up the Euromotor to have a go into the first corner, as we've got Holmes moved up to 8th place, Watson up to 10th. Not able to make the move, though, for second is Dan Greenlaw. But the top 4's definitely pulling away from Dagnall in 5th. There's already 2.5 seconds between Taki and Dagnall. As we've got now Watson pressuring Saint-Laurent heavily for that 9th place. I don't imagine this will be too difficult for the pole here. And indeed, he pulls out and makes the move very cleanly into the Langkawi curve. And that is Watson up into 9th place. Already, though, Nicolas is really on the tear here. That lead has to be over a second now, and he's only had it for about a lap, so absolutely storming drive currently for Philippe Nicolas. I do wonder if perhaps he's on a bit of a lighter fuel load, and that might be what the plan there for him in the holiday team are. Is we've got a little bit of a battle here for 7th place as Gauthier now under threat from Edvard Holm in the Simpson. I think Holm might be looking to set up a pass here into the final corner. Looks to put a bit of a fake there, looking to the outside of the track, but doors wide open. Gauthier doesn't really seem to see the point in fighting Holm at this early stage of the race. So we've got another fastest lap for Philippe Nicolas, and Holm has taken 7th place. That is, I believe that's Kremnitsky taking a look to the inside of Cameron, and he will take 12th place. The Slovak driver, as has been noted several times already this season, under fire from his team boss. His future in that seat not certain, so this will definitely be what the team boss is looking to be seeing from him. As Lon now also makes a move on Cameron, that's Lon up to 13th. Burrell's struggling to pick her way through the field here. Again, might be a little bit outmatched into. Oh my goodness! And that is Alberto Cara off at the clear curve. My goodness, that is the 4th place man in the championship, I believe. So this could have major implications for his championship bid. Have a look from the onboard here. Just overcooks it into the corner, and car completely loses grip, and he's off into the gravel here. That's going to cost him buckets of time here as he tries to dig himself out of that gravel trap. But Holmes now looking to the inside of Servansky, same place he made the move on Gauthier, and takes 6th place from the Hungarian rookie. So Holm making moves early here to make up for his poor start. Kremnitsky here makes a lunge on Yamamura for 11th, so Kremnitsky also moving forward in the opening stages of this race. Cars only just resumed the race. It seems to have completely lost the front nose cone entirely on the in the gravel somehow, and is falling behind even Emma Kickert. So poor start to the race for Alberto Cara here, certainly. Up front, we've got it's a 3.5 second lead for Philippe Nicolas. Yontra still holding on to 2nd from Greenlaw. Taki just dropping back a little bit from these two. Greenlaw here might be taking a look to the inside here, but no, not quite close enough to make a move on Yontra. Still staying right in the toe of that Euro motor. He might have a good opportunity in making a move into the final corner here. Yes, right in the slipstream is Greenlaw. He's got the slipstream working exactly as he'd like, but he doesn't feel comfortable enough throwing the car at the inside there. Might be looking to make the move instead at turn 1. We'll have a look here. See if he can get it done. No, he chooses not to. So Greenlaw there just outmatched a little bit by the straight line speed of the Euromotor. In the other Euromotor currently under attack from Edvard Holm. Car is now resumed, returned to the track. Already a full lap down and got a little bit in the way of Magda Servanski. So in the W12s, we've got Saint Laurent leading that pack from Kremnitsky and Lon as the Yamamuras slipped to 13th place now. Malish still down in 15th, so he'll be looking to. He's not too far behind a lot of these cars, so he'll have a shot at getting past them as the race progresses, I would imagine. McFry still holding 17th ahead of Burrell, so that's probably not what the Adriatica team would be wanting to see from their rookie driver here. Summers up into 19th now from Shinjo and Fuwen up in 21st, so looks like it's been a bit of a poor start for Ben Fleet, as I think Holm is gearing up for a move on Bradley Dagnall. Not quite close enough to make the move. He might be encountering the same sort of issues as Greenlaw is facing with the other Euromotor of Yoncher, but he definitely has a run here, though. Takes a look to the inside, but yeah, as soon as he breaks out of that slipstream, the sort of wall of air he hits, it's just sort of slows the car down and not really able to complete the move. As oh my goodness, that is Dan Greenlaw. The second holiday is out already with a transmission failure. Oh my goodness, that is not going to go down well with the holiday team. After that double finish at Austin, he's it's right back to retirements aplenty for Dan Greenlaw. There's already 3 retirements in his 4 appearances so far for the team, substituting, of course, for the injured Humbert Moymudier. Malish here, taking a look to the inside. Very late lunge up the inside of Cameron. Can't complete the move there. And Cameron holds him off through the following corner. So not quite enough Malish has on Cameron to make that move stick. So I think Kickert's now caught up to the rear of the field after her first lap incident. But the battle between Cameron and Malish has enabled Diego Alvarez Torrente to close in on these two, so we could be seeing a freeway battle for 13th here, as I know in the background. It seems that Amani Burrell has taken 17th from Martin McFry. We got Holm all over the back of Dagnall there, but that is not an overtaking spot, Edvard. That's and now he's suddenly had to drop off quite away from Dagnall there, as Malish has made the move. Malish has made the move on Cameron. He's taken over 13th. Let's have a look at how he's managed to get that done. Gets a good run here. Pretty simple textbook overtake there for the Czech sophomore driver. Important that he was able to get that done as well, because the other W12 powered cars ahead of him were starting to pull away. So that leaves Cameron now to fend off his teammate Diego Alvarez Torrente. Of course, these two drivers both battling for the one remaining Jones seat. Of course, they've hired Katie May to Katie May, the AR3000 driver, to drive that car, drive one of these cars for 2025. So one of these two will definitely be out of a job, at least within the team, next season. It just remains to be seen which one of them takes that. See, I think Diego Veras Torrente quite wants it for himself, because he's gotten a good run on here on his teammate. Pulls out a slipstream, and there's really nothing Cameron can do to hold off his teammate there. This Torrente takes over 14th. That'll be something that'll definitely help him in his bid after that early retirement at Austin. But up front, it's still looking all good so far for Philippe Nicolas. 8.8 seconds last time over the timing line for his gap back to Joncher's. Holm is again taking a look on Dagnall, but again, similar to Václav Malish a couple of laps ago, he can't quite get that move done. Dagnall able to defend for the following right-handers, and Holm's gotta gear himself up for another run at this Euromotor. They're already 15 seconds off the lead here, and 5 seconds behind the next car of Takuma Taki. So Holm will want to get this move done sooner rather than later. He's right up the gearbox of Dagnall, but just not confident enough to make the move under braking there. I do note that in addition to its excellent straight line speed, the Euromotor does seem to be very good on the brakes. It seems very difficult to be able to actually outbrake one of these cars, so that's, again, excellent work by the Euromotor mechanics, although in terms of reliability, perhaps not so much. They've had their issues with that so far this season, but Holm, again, still right behind Dagnall, just can't quite find the way to get the former Formula 1 driver to change his line and perhaps open the door for an attack by Holm. And again, he tries to make the move into the clear curve, but it's just not going to work there. That's really not a place where you can go side by side. So Joncher's still holding on to second, although now over 10 seconds behind Nicolas. As we're seeing Emma Kicker continue to recover through the field after that first lap incident. Now up to 18th place, but Joncher able to hold on to second so far. Although Takuma Taki, I think, is just starting to close in a little bit on the lead Euromotor, at least lead of the two Euromotors in this race. Just hanging about a second behind behind Joncher is Taki. As for the pit stop strategies, we are expecting most of the field to do a two-stop strategy in this race. That window should open in about 5 or 6 laps, I believe, with a free stop strategy being the preferred alternate, as the tires here really struggling in the Malaysian heat, not lasting up too long. And I think that window may have already opened, so still waiting to see if we've got any takers on that strategy for the free stop at least. As Holm continues to try and attack Dagnall and force the Euromotor to just be a little bit more defensive than he would like, it does seem that it's causing the trailing cars of, I think that's, yeah, Savansky, Gautier, and Watson to really start to close up on this battle, so Home will want to get this move done. Well, not just because Nicola is running away with the race currently, but because he's got 3 cars coming up into his rearview mirror that he would not like to have to battle again. One car he would like to have to battle is Philippe Nicola, but I don't think our reigning champion is in much of a mood to fight anyone today, other than perhaps himself as a kicker there. Taking a look, that's a very high-speed corner to be making that sort of a move on Imani Burrell, and perhaps wisely backed out there. But Nicola definitely not in a mood to fight anyone other than his own lap times, it seems. Marco Jancher is slowing. Oh my goodness, that's Marco Jancher's suspension. Looks like a suspension issue on the Euromotor. So, as I say again. And also the front nose cone has also just decided to fail, as we've got a couple of cars now pitting. I think they're on the pre-stop strategy, but Jancher is out. Again, more reliability issues. We've got Shinjo into the pits, as is Aurora Summers, and I note a little bit on the other side of the track, Holmes finally gotten the move done on Dagnall. Stayed right behind him through the clear curve. Didn't try and make an ill-advised attempt this time, and Holmes through into 3rd place. As I suspected, it is an early pit stop for Philippe Nicola, so our race leaders now into the pits. This is a critical pit stop as... Oh my goodness, that's Takuma Taki also pinning, so that was just pure pace he had over his championship rival. That'll definitely be good news for holidays. Edvard Holm has swept through into the lead now. We'll see if he's on the same 3-stop strategy, or if he's perhaps on a 2-stop, and maybe that's why he's had a little bit more issues passing Dagnall. But Nicola returns to the track right behind this little gaggle of cars behind Holm, Dagnall, Savansky, Gautier, and Watson. So Nicola has some overtaking in his near future if he wants to maintain this advantage he currently has over Takuma Taki. It's not ideal pit strategy though for Taki to be on the free stop here and already be facing such a tremendous margin behind his championship rival. So I think Watson here sizing up Gautier for a move for 4th, and indeed he will get it done. So that's final Watson up into 4th place. And will now have his sights set on his teammate Monte Savansky for 3rd. Can't really see if Watson's gaining at an noticeable rate, but I suppose we'll see over the next couple of laps if he does have the pace, unless of course he or his teammate pit. Hobnell's opened up about a 2.5 second lead on Dagnall here, and since making that move, Dagnall's not really been losing any time to the likes of Savansky and Watson, but that's Nicola now making the move on Gautier for 5th place, so Nicola still just in complete cruise well, not quite in cruise control. Oh no, Andrei Kremnitsky! Every race, he has a good race. The car breaks on him, and when he doesn't, the car doesn't break. It's been an incredibly tough season for him. And it doesn't seem to be getting it better anytime soon. Ooh, Home there having a little bit of a moment here, just trying to push to build that gap over the rest of the... I guess I would presume the rest of these ivories must be doing the two-stop here as Watson tries to shut the door on Nicola, but the 2023 ARWS champion is not having any of that. He will take 4th position regardless of Watson's wishes. So Nicola now about 7 seconds off the back of Edvard Holm, so this strategy does seem to be playing out quite well for him, but with Taki 21.5 seconds behind Holm, it may be a bit more difficult for the Racing Point driver to and championship leader, of course, to really make this strategy work. Kickert's worked her way up to about 10th place now, as I note that Torrente has made the move into the pit, so Torrente also on the free stop strategy here. And Servansky now next up to be under threat from Philippe Nicolas, who's really been on a rampage early in this race. We got Fu Wen into the pits now, so Fu also on the free stop strategy. Nicola really gearing up to make a move on the March 16 here down this back straightaway. Oh, he's well in the slipstream there. He's gonna make that move easily into the final corners. Edvard Holm is now pitting, so Holm also, it would seem, on the free stop strategy. That's not ideal for Holm, but it is ideal for Bradley Dagnall, who has now taken the lead. Bit of a short fill there on Holm as well, who would zoom the race in 7th place and behind Takuma Taki, so I'm not sure this strategy call was the right one for the Simpson crew, but we'll just have to wait and see if they've got something up their bag of tricks to pull this out. But it is Bradley Dagnall leading, but not for much longer as Philippe Nicolas is closing in on him in a hurry. On that previous lap, we had Dagnall with a 140.6, and Nicola nearly 2 full seconds quicker. So this is not going to be a very lengthy battle. It's Torrente making the move on his sister, in fact, for 18th place. Of course, Torrente's just pitted, and this is Monty Burrell, in fact, has made her first stop of the race. And Nicola right behind Dagnall, gonna look to make the move on the Euromotor, but it's not quite close enough for his comfort, it would seem. Also, it looks like the March 16s are in a little bit of a battle behind them for 3rd place. Nicola has the run on Dagnall, though, goes for a little bit of an extra slipstream. Yeah, again, still facing the same issues that a lot of cars are facing. A lot of cars and drivers are facing with trying to pass the Euromotor. It's just too quick in a straight line. Watson on that previous lap was about 1.5 seconds quicker than Servansky, so March 16 may want to swap their drivers here, because definitely seems that Watson has the pace over Stefanski at this stage in the race. Nicola trying to fake out Daggle there. That's not really going to work there. Nobody sensible would ever try to make a move into that corner. Cameron now into the pits. I think we're now into more into the 2-stop window in this race. Has elevated Martin McFry up into 13th place. And Ben Fleet's fought his way through after a little bit of a poor start. He's now up into 14th with Cameron's pit stop. Oh no! Bradley Daggle's pulling off with a... That's a puncture, a left rear puncture. My goodness, I wonder where he picked that up. Yeah, you can see right there. It looks like the left rear tire just gave out. It's weird because it wouldn't have been loaded up for that corner. So I don't know what happened to that tire, but in any case, Bradley Dagnall's not going to be able to make it any further, and it's after a double finish, their second last time out at Austin. It's going to be a double retirement for Euromotor. And Philippe Nicolas has retaken the race lead. Gauthier now into the pits with an electrical issue. My goodness. A lot of cars facing issues in the brutal Malaysia heat here early in this race. Gauthier pitting, seemed able to at least get her car back to the pits to get that repaired. I think that's Alberto Cara also pitting. Indeed it is. And Gauthier is able to return to the race, but she will come out behind Emma Kickert. So again, not really the ideal race for Gauthier, it would seem. Yamamura now into the pits. Yamamura was able to get a good start in this race, but did seem to slide back a bit, so hopefully this relatively early pit stop compared to some of their rivals will allow them to regain some of that lost position. This Torrente continues to try and fight his way through. Ooh, really asserting himself there with Malik Sedan, and that was actually pretty critical because otherwise he might have had to cede position to Akira Yamamura there, so Torrente really needed to get on with that move. And final Watson, so it does seem that Cervanski wasn't willing to cede the position to her teammate, and now Watson's side of the garage has pulled their man in for a pit stop here, looking to maybe get a bit of an undercut on Cervanski and jump him ahead. As for Nicolas, back to business as usual. Although he does seem to be having issues lapping Fuen there. Just not quite, doesn't seem to be quite sure what the Chinese driver was trying to do there, but able to get past in the end. Kickert's now into the pits, and that is also Kaelon pitting. As Watson returns to the track in 5th place, just ahead of Saint Laurent, so that was expertly timed by his strategist there. Václav Malish still going quite long on this stint. Well, I say quite long. This is about in the middle of the expected window for a 2-stopper. Cameron now making his way through the pack as Carmen Alvarez Torrente pits, as does Malik Zidane. As for Nicola, he now holds a 14-second advantage over Takuma Taki and almost 20 seconds over Edvard Holm, and both of those drivers are on the same strategy as he is. So, good day in the office so far for the Frenchman. So that's Torrente there making a move on the... I believe that would be Martin McFry. No, that's actually Ben Fleet. So Torrente making the moves he has to. Yamamura now trying to take a look, but again, not really the ideal place to make that move. Maybe a bit over eager there. So Taki might not be having the ideal race in terms of beating his championship rival on top in beating his championship rival on the track, but as things stand, he's set to only finish about a position behind. I'm not entirely sure exactly where things will shake out with the 2-stop versus the 3-stop strategy, but as it is, Taki's doing what he needs to do to limit any sort of damage Nicola might do to his lead in the championship, although, again, we do still have quite a ways to go, and reliability could play a factor, especially with these powerful but unreliable i3 engines. Now the Mooners made the move on Fleet for 14th there. Servansky now having to fight her way through some traffic here. She does seem to be going quite long on this stint, so probably looking to probably will be coming out behind Watson, perhaps behind Gautier as well. Might try and make that back up with fresher tires in the middle stint and shorten that stint and the final stint. That said, not ideal that she was a little bit blocked there by Naoki Shinsho, but and oh dear, that's really not ideal because she's not going to be in position to make a move for a couple corners now. Malish now pits. So this is right around the 1/3 mark in the race. Probably about the ideal time to be making a pit stop to neatly break up the race into thirds. I think that is Martin McFry into the pits as well. Ooh, a bit of a weight on the fuel there for Malish, but again, I think he'll probably just try to evenly split this race up into thirds. Yes, that's his McFry in the pits. And just to compare the times here, and that roughly the same time for both of those teams. Nicola's now got a full 10 seconds over Magnus Servansky. He's really held up badly on that lap. Probably going to be under threat from Taki and Holm, although Holm does seem to be closing on Taki, so these two might be fighting for position in a few laps here. I think Holm has a couple laps fresher tires than Taki is. Oh no, that's Pierre Saint-Laurent. It was a great start for the Canadian in this race, but it looks like there's a water leak on that Bentley engine. And Saint Laurent's race now at a very untimely end. So that will, although I do notice that the reliability does, although it has been fairly high. This is our 5th retire. This is only 5 retirements in about a third of the race. So I think it was a bit more severe through this stage last year, but we'll see. Taki there making a critical move on Fu Wen to force the try to give Holmes some issues there, but Fu pulls over and allows the Simpson driver to continue his pursuit of the current third place man on track. They're in heavy traffic here, so this will be it will be important to negotiate these cars as quickly and as cleanly as possible there. That was Shinjo there, neatly getting out of the way of both of them. As Holmes closed into just a little over half a second behind the points leader. We'll see exactly how Taki plays this. My guess is he will fight to the death to hold on to this position. It certainly seems to be his method of choice for the season. Do not cede any position under any circumstances if you can help it. Even if it's not for position, as Philippe Nicola found out at Loudon a few races ago. Oh no, I think, speaking of Philippe Nicola, and it's a double transmission failure for a Holiday. And this is exactly what Takuma Taki would want to see. As Blanka Stravinsky now takes over the race lead. Still awaiting her first pit stop here. But she seems to get forced well out of offline there by Aurora Summers. Let's have another look at that. I thought these two were friends. So, yeah, Stravinsky currently leading, coming up to lap Summers. Moves to the left, and Summers moves to the left a block? Or maybe just misjudged it? I'm not entirely sure, but in any case, so Summers is through and pits anyway, so this will now hand the lead to our championship leader. Takuma Taki takes the lead on lap 24 now. Question is, will he be able to hold on to that lead, as Holm has been closing in on him through this stint. Taki was able to pull out a little bit of a gap on Holm on that previous lap. I think Holm struggled a little bit with getting around Martin McFry. Watson through into third, and Stravinsky resumes the race in fourth, just ahead of Amy Gauthier. So I think they left her out just as long as they could before risking losing that track position to Gauthier. Emma Kickert's now worked her way back through the field up into 6th position, but is still significantly behind the rest of the I3s. She's about 20 seconds off the back of Gauthier. We've got Lonin 7th, Diego Alvarez Torrente in 8th, Malish 9th, and Yamamura in 10th, with Fleet and ahead of Burrell currently. I think that is probably Fleet. Yeah, Fleet now pitting, so he's just a little bit out of position there. As Holm has really started to the pressure to Takuma Taki here for this race lead. Can he find a way past, though? Taki has definitely underlined has built a reputation for himself as the most difficult man in ARWS in terms of being able to overtake. We'll see if Holm is able to find a way past here. He's quite close behind, pulls out, and does make the move. So that's Edvard Holm has passed Takuma Taki and taken the race lead here. Just closing in on half distance in this Malaysian Grand Prix. Taki now settles himself into second place. He's got a bit of a margin over Watson and Cervanski, so it may be probably wiser for Taki at this stage to really just sort of take it easy through the for the rest of this stint and try and make the move on Holm in the final stint of this race. Indeed, that is Watson here, just getting around the Berjaya Tioman corner. Sorry, my track map is a little small. I can't quite read. Berjaya Tioman, I believe, is how it's pronounced. Although, hopefully somebody will correct me if I get that wrong. In any event, Watson's running third, about 21 seconds off the lead. He does have about 5 seconds on his teammates, but of course with a significant tire difference between those two March 16s. It's very interesting how the inter-team battle will be developing for this race. It may look, well, at least currently it looks like it will be a battle between them for the third step on the podium. I don't think Amy Gauthier really has the pace to fight them for that spot. Seems that Malish is closing in on Torrente now for, this would be for 8th position. Interestingly, Malish has his worst finish this season, at least in terms of, actually making it to the finish, is 7th, so, if he wants to maintain that, assuming we don't have any more retirements, which is a bit of a assumption to make, but he'll need to catch Talon in addition to finding his way past Torrente, as this is Amani Burrell making her second trip into the pit, so already the free stoppers making their second stop of the race. And this is looking to be a bit of a weight on the fuel here for Burrell, so this could be a lengthy stint she's gearing up for. Gets back out of the pit in 16th, I believe. Yeah, just gets out right ahead of Ben Fleet. Oh my goodness. That's another retirement, it looks like, for Magda Cervanski, as the Ford EcoBoost engine is crying enough. Massive plumes of smoke coming out of the back of the March 16, and Cervanski's race is surely not going to be lasting much longer. So, so much for Malish having to catch and pass along to maintain his record of never finishing below 7th in a race. But Cervanski's record of reliability in this season continues to be, quite frankly, atrocious. It's, she has, what, 2 finishes this season? Yes, 2 finishes and 1 classified finish at San Air. 2 relatively early podiums. So hasn't actually been running at the finish of a race since the Columbia River Grand Prix in Portland, which is quite a while ago. And her miserable debut season in ARWS seems to continue. Takuma Taki's pulled into the pits now. So Racing Point, I think this might be the call for them. If they want to get him out to try and beat Edvard Holm for this race win, it looks like the play will be get an undercut, and then build a gap and defend that through the final stint of the race, as Taki comes out right ahead of his teammate, so they've timed that perfectly at the very least. Kicker also into the pits. Oh my goodness. Looks like there's a brake issue on the Simpson. So this will be her, oh, this is only her second trip into the pits? I don't seem to be refueling the car, so, in any case, she's going to be back in at least one more time. As, her miserable day seems to continue. And now Edvard Holm is pitting, responding immediately to Takuma Taki making his pit stop just a lap or two ago. So Simpson immediately covering off Taki here. Looks like it will be a pretty short stint for Holm in this one. 8.5 second pit stop as Taki is just rounding the final corner now, I believe. Final Watson goes through to take the lead, but not too far behind will be Edvard Holm. And he comes out right in front of Naoki Shinjo. Because we've got a whole bunch of traffic here. That is, that might also be why Holm's crew pulled him in there, was to just make sure that he would be ahead of this traffic when he pitted and wouldn't have to deal with it. So Burrell's moved through this little packet to 12th, Shinjo 13th, Fuen is 14th, and Ben Fleet in 15th. Right in the middle of this pack, though, is Takuma Taki, who's chances of victory look pretty slim at this stage. With even fuel and tire situation, he's gonna have to really figure something out, because I don't think he's shown the single lap pace that the Simpson has well, for most of the season, but like also at this race. Taki is still working his way through this traffic. So Watson now leading, but the gap not very big. In fact, it's just a tick under 2 seconds, so it won't be terribly long now. Although both these cars still have one pit stop to make, so depending on how they play it, Watson could still be a factor for the win in this race. But I think March 16 will have to play it perfectly, because Holm has been pretty rapid since that first pit stop. Once he got out of the traffic of the other I3s, he's been well, he was the second quickest car on track, I'd say, and then Nicola retired, and now he's the quickest. Taki's cleared the traffic now, so he's got to try and gather himself and try and make a move at home. Ideally, he'll be hoping that Watson gives the Simpson a bit of a fight here, but I'm not entirely sure if that will be on the cards here, as we've got Malish now pitting from 9th position. Oop. As Watson making the move around McFry. Holm tries to... Ooh, he tried really hard there to force it on the inside of Watson in the final corner. As you see Malish resuming, returning to the race after his pit stop. But Holm side by side with Watson into the first corner, and Holm gets the job done. Edvard Holm will retake the lead. Watson had a pretty early first pit stop, so I'm not entirely sure when he might make his second, but it will throw his strategy a little bit here. So just have to keep an eye on him and see when he does make that second pit stop. Interestingly, Martin McFly, after that pit stop from Malish, has moved past the Czech driver into 10th place, so McFly really showing a lot of pace in the Foxtail this weekend. He's only about 13 seconds or so behind Nathaniel Cameron in the Jones, as the other Jones, Diego Alvarez Torrente, is pulled into the pits. So this is Diego's second stop of the race. Looks like a pretty short middle stint, third stint for the Jones here. Might be about 12 laps or so. It's all clear sailing ahead though for Edvard Holm. Built a 2.5 second advantage already over Final Watson. And Kumataki really still struggling with this traffic. Still really nowhere near. Final Watson has fallen about, what is that, nearly 10 seconds behind the current race leader. As Kickert makes a move on Kalon here, this is for position. In fact, as Kickert's on the 3-stop strategy, I believe Lon may be on the 2-stopper. So it's taken 32 laps for Emma Kickert to recover from her her broken rear wing, and then also the brake issue later on. So a bit of a disastrous race for Emma Kickert, but hey, her car's still running, which is something, I suppose. Not really a lot of on-track battles at the moment, I think, with how the pit stop strategies are playing out, but actually, I think Malish, yeah, she's just caught McFry and has made that move for 10th here, so Malish now trying to close back in on Torrente and make that move for 9th place here. As our championship leader seems to have very much fallen into a rhythm here. Does seem that the win might be a bit off the table for Edvard Holm. No, I think Edvard Holm pretty much has the is in the ideal position to be winning this race, but Taki here not so much in the mix. There's Holm. Probably just looking to bank the points here. Of course, he came in with a 21-point advantage over Holm, and I think has about 60-ish on Emma Kicker. I'll just double check the points here. He has about 64-point advantage on Emma Kicker, third in the championship. So Taki in an excellent position here to really restore his grip on the championship following the issues he faced at the Circuit of the Americas. Watson, meanwhile, well, both he and Taki still have one more pit stop to make, so while it might be a bit of a tall order for him to really fight home for the race win, I think fighting Taki for second might be quite on for the Polish drivers here, so Taki might be best advised to continue to push and try and reclaim that position, because as it stands, he's with one more pit stop for both of them to go. He's 6 seconds behind Watson. On that previous lap was a 1:39.8 for Taki, and it was a 1:40.4 to us. He is running about half a second a lap quicker than Watson currently. Amy Gauthier running a very lonely race out there. I don't think she's really been in much of a battle with anyone since the opening laps. Is just kind of riding at the back of the I3, save of course Emma Kicker, who has had her issues in this race. Taki on that last lap was a 1:40 flat. Watson, yeah, still running about 5 or 6 tenths a lap slower than the racing point, but he will be due for his final stop relatively soon, so depending on when they make that, if he may, I don't think he's running an exceptionally long stint, because he pitted at the start of the first pit window, so it's unlikely that he'll try and stretch this out and try and nullify the potential undercut that Taki will have on him, but still he's gotta put in these consistent laps here. Do what he can to maintain the margin over Taki, and then try and push at the start of the final stint to maintain the advantage and have enough of one to fend off Taki in the closing laps. Ooh. Taki, they're given a little bit of a chop by Diego versus Torrente down the main straightaway there, but that's not going to face Takuma Taki. Both of the Jones are very close quarters with each other, as the other Torrente very neatly gets out of the way of that is Emma Kickert. Also on a previous lap was a 1:40.5. Taki held up a little bit there by the Joneses, only took about 2 tenths out of the March 16. As we've got another battle between the Joneses. This is Torrente again, I think, making the move on Cameron. I think this is the second time he's had to pass him, but of course, I believe Cameron on the 2 stop and Torrente on the 3 stop, so this would probably indicate that Torrente has made up a full pit stop over his teammates and is making the 3 stop strategy work for himself here. So Watson comes across the line now, and that is a 1:40.7 as his tires are really starting to show their age. Taki comes across the line and puts in a 140.8, so Watson was actually a bit quicker on that lap, but of course Taki was dealing with the lap traffic there as Amy Gauthier comes in and will make her final pit stop of this race. Quite early in the pit stop window for the two stoppers here. So it will be a bit of a lengthy stint. I'm not sure if I think they're probably just looking to secure the fourth position for her at this stage, because Kickert's not going to be any threat from behind her, and I think the team would probably ideally like her to not interfere with Taki's race too much. Lon also making his stop early in this pit window. It's been running strongly at the front of the W12s throughout this race, so Lon in a good position here to pick up some more valuable championship points. I think the championship is a bit out of reach, but the constructors title is exceptionally close, and right now Bentley's right smack in the middle of the constructors table. In fact, they're 6th in the championship, 19 points ahead of Checkmate, and about 29 behind Yang Wang. So a good points haul here for Lon will enable them to take the fight to the Chinese rookie manufacturer. And will be especially important with the retirement, of course, of his teammates, Pierre Saint-Laurent. Holm, though, continuing to lead this event, looking for his 4th win of the season. Who thought we would be saying that after all the reliability woes he's had and continues to have with that Simpson? But every time he's finished, he's won. And if he finishes this race, it's looking very likely that he will win it, as we've got, that is Carmen Alvarez-Rente making her pit stop here. Home with a 13-second margin now over Watson, with Taki still holding about 5 seconds behind the March 16. I think both of them have pretty much fought themselves to a standstill here, so I think any movement in that battle for second will be determined when about say make their final pit stops. Watson will not be making his on this lap, but someone who will is Aki Yamamura. Was running 6th. Oh no, and the engine is blowing up for final Watson. Oh, he was driving fantastically in this race. In fact, both of the March 16s were, but again, it's all for nothing, as it's another double DNF for them. And, my goodness, they've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instances where a car was running at the finish, and that's it. And through, this is now the 13th race of the season. That is, far less than ideal. As we've got Emma Kickert now making her final pit stop. About 20 laps to go. Seems pretty nailed on for, 5th place here. Although that'll be 4th once she passes the stricken March 16. Taki will inherit 2nd, which will be, I think he'll be very happy with that. And again, with his teammate Gauthier not really having a huge amount of pace in this race, looks like it'll be a neat 48 points for the championship leader, as opposed to Nicolas, who will be at most gaining 30, so it'll be at least an 18-point swing for Taki, the way things currently stand. Alberto Cara now in the pits. It's been a dismal day for the man currently 4th in the championship. In fact, he's not really been able to make up any on-track position since that off on in the opening laps, as Yamamura has just taken 9th place from Martin McFry there. So again, McFry still really having a fantastic race. He's still running ahead, although he's still running ahead of Imani Burrell. I'm not sure if Burrell still needs to make another pit stop, but although he's also significantly ahead of Nathaniel Cameron, I don't think Cameron's had any real issues in this race, so this is just genuinely excellent pace from Fry in the Foxdales. Our race leader comes into the pits for his final pit stop of the race. It's Edvard Holm. With 18 laps to go, he gets into his pit box. Pretty routine service for the Simpson crew. And they'll get him back out on the track in 9.2 seconds. And he will temporarily lose the lead to Takuma Taki as Torrentes, Carmen Alvarez Torrentes into the pits with a brake issue on the peak. So her luckless stint with the team since taking over from the fired and banned James Wilmington has now dropped her, in fact, behind Alberto Cara. So Cara's at least made up one position since the start of the race, but Taki now leads, although he will have to pit in a few laps, about the next 5 or 6 laps at the very most. McFry also into the pits here, so yeah, that might be why he was running right in the midst of the W12s, as he was a bit off sequence here. Indeed, will drop behind the likes of Malik Sedan and Aurora Summers, although I'm not sure if these two need to make their final pit stops. I suspect they might. Indeed, yes, they still are due another pit stop. And Summers has been closing in on Zidane over the last few laps, so she may be able to make a move for position here. And Malish dives into the pits for his final stop of the race. With Torrente, I think, still also due another pit stop. It does look like Malish's crew looking to pull the undercut on the Jones here in this battle for, they are battling for 6th place. Another 9.2 second pit stop from the Checkmate crew, and they'll get Malish back out on track and a little bit of, he has a little bit of traffic a bit ahead of him, but he will resume the race in 9th place behind Imani Burrell and Akio Yamamura. Oh no, Edvard Holm! Oh my goodness! Well, he either wins or he doesn't finish at all, and today Edvard Holm doesn't finish at all. I wish I could say I was heartbroken, but at this point it's utter bemusement that one man has had such an absurd reliability record. In any case, that does look like it's just about handed the race win to Takuma Taki. He's got a 32-second advantage over his teammate Amy Gauthier and over a minute ahead of Anna Kickert. So Taki in prime position to notch his 4th win of the season. Of course, this is the race where last season he won his very first Grand Prix. So in a sense, it's where it's all started. This time last year, he had 0 race wins to his name. He comes here with 5, and will be looking to leave with 6, which is easily the most of any ARWS driver since the series returned. Since the series returned at the beginning of 2023. This is Ben Fleet here lining up Naoki Shinjo for 14th position. Battling right ahead of Emma Kickert, and Fleet easily takes the spot from the Mecha driver. And that was just some neat laughing action there for Emma Kickert. I guess she has to find something to do in this race. She's not really having to fight anybody in this race. Taki, 41 seconds ahead of Gauthier. Wonder if she had some issues with the. She might have had some issues with lap traffic on the last couple of laps. In any case, it does seem that Takuma Taki has been pulled into the pits. So it should be a fairly routine stop for Taki, and pretty much should cement the win for him. Are looking at a potential battle for 7th here. Although maybe not, because I think Burrell still has to make one more pit stop. But we can at least pretend it means something, I suppose, as Martin McFry now has caught the battle between, well, it was a battle between Summers and Zidane, and Zidane pulls into the pits. And McFry makes his way past Summers as well, for good measure. That's two positions in one corner for Martin McFry here. And Malish has also made the move on Burrell for 7th, so he's continuing to soldier on in that 7th place. Next car ahead of him is Yamamura, who does not have to pit again. Malish currently about 8.5, maybe 9 seconds behind the Adriatica, as Takuma Taki is now making his final pit stop of the race. Bit of a weight on the fuel and tires there, but it's not really gonna matter that much. Taki has such a huge lead that there's really no chance that Amy Gauthier is gonna trouble him once he leaves the pits here, and especially now that he's on the fresh set of tires. Gauthier's been on hers for a good 10 laps at this point, so she's really not got the tires to fight with her teammate, even if she was in a position to be able to do so. So it is looking like a racing .12 here. After both cars had their issues last time out at the Circuit of the Americas, we've got yellow flags here. This Diego versus Torrente is spun. That is the Langkawi curve. See what happened to Torrente here. He was being caught by Malish, in fact. As oh goodness, he turns right in on the checkmate and spins himself around. Let's have another look at that from onboard Malish to see exactly what happened between these two. So Malish is a fair way back behind Torrente. Oh, and he just sort of dies up the inside there. I think Diego may have been held up a little bit by his sister here. Just take one more look from behind Carmen here. Ooh, that is a bit of a lunge there from Malish. That's really not ideal racing. In any case, Torrente gets himself righted, but he's lost position to Burrell here. But of course, Burrell still needs to make that final pit stop. Summers is off at the same corner that Torrente went off. I'd say maybe there was oil or something there, but we know Torrente got tapped around, and Summers just locked her front tires there. The Pirellis have been sort of falling off in performance as the season has worn on, and Summers there really having her issues with those tires. She needs to avoid too many more issues like that because Ben Fleet is not too far behind. Although that actually doesn't matter because Summers still has to make another pit stop. Although saying that, she was in a battle with Malik Zidane before Zidane pitted, and that mistake combined with the undercut for Zidane will probably hand the Egyptian that position. So I think the biggest battle on the track right now is probably for 5th. Aki Yamamura holds the position currently, but will be struggling with some pretty second-hand tires. 1:44.5 was the previous lap time for the Japanese driver. Malish on that previous lap was over a second quicker and is currently about 6 seconds or so behind them. So we could be on for a fight here for 5th in fairly short orders. Somebody's just, yeah, that is Burrell diving into the pits from 7th. That will allow both of the Joneses through. The interesting thing will be to see if Burrell comes out behind McFry, because McFry's already made his final pit stop. And I think he will get back out ahead of Burrell. And quite significantly so, in fact. Still, Burrell will have some fresh tires to fight back and try and chase down the Foxtail. As Summers has now been caught by Ben Fleet for 11th place. This isn't really the battle she's having, though. She does need to have another pit stop, and that, I imagine at this stage, will probably put herself behind... Yeah, Malik Zidane is now within 20 seconds of this pair, so definitely no way Summers can get back out ahead of Zidane here. Taki currently leading by 16 seconds from his teammate Amy Gauthier, running, well, make that nearly 18 seconds as he's running best part of 2 seconds a lot quicker than his teammate, who has very much been running a race by herself, I think. As Diego getting right back around his sister after their meeting at the Langkawi corner a couple of laps ago. Might be words between them, maybe not, maybe it was just a miscommunication between them on track. Fleet looks like he's made the move on Summers now for 11th. And yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Fleet just easily able to power by the peak as well, in any case, it was academic anyway, Summers pits regardless. Watching Zidane now, who should move through up into 12th place. Summers should come out between Zidane and Shinjo. So this is a pretty good run by Zidane, just outpacing his teammate. Not by a whole lot, but a 10-second margin over the guy who finished second in the championship last season is not bad work. Summers still waiting for the end of the pit lane. In fact, she'll come out behind Shinjo. So she's got a little bit of work here to do. Does come out ahead of Fu Wen though, so we'll see if Summers can put on some overtaking shows in the closing laps in this race. Meanwhile, Malsh is still continuing to close in on Yamamura for 5th place. Still running a second a lap quicker than the Adriatica. Now looking at 10 laps to go here in Malaysia. So it does look like we'll have a fight on for 5th place in a little bit of time here. Summers is had to allow a race leader through here. Not an ideal place. That's opened the door for Fu Wen, who will take 14th position. And that's a great move there for Fu, who's really starting to find his feet here in these last couple of races. I do wonder if this might be what he needs to do to really solidify his position within the team for the next season. But Summers isn't done yet. She's got a fresh set of tires here, and she's eager to use them. Dives right up the inside and retakes the spot. And now she'll focus herself on, oh goodness, that's Kaylon off at the first corner. Oh no! So looks like the throttle has stuck and he's had to switch the engine off to avoid a massive crash. But In any event, that is Kalon's day done. It does mean that the battle for 5th will now become a battle for 4th. It also means that Bentley will have a pretty poor day in the Constructors' Championship side of things. This Malish takes another second out of Akira Yamamura. Taki is in the pits again. What the? There's a loose wheel on the racing point. Oh no! Well, in any case, I think this should be. Oh my goodness! That's Amy Gauthier has taken the lead. He did not have the margin on his teammate to be able to weather that, but he's still reasonably close to her. So I think it should be on fresh tires. Although there are only 8 laps to go here. It might be a bit close to see if Taki can actually close in and take the lead back. Oh my goodness, that's that spiced up the ending of this race a bit. As for now, it's Malish still closing in on Yamamura, but he has significantly worn out those tires now. It was only about 7/10 quicker than the Adriatic on the previous lap. Still, he is still continuing to close in on the Adriatica for this 4th position. As I'm hearing that there may be some stern words in the Racing Point garage. Not the ideal ordering of the cars, I take it. Malish right in position though to make this move for 4th place here. And he lines that up perfectly. Nothing Yamamura can do to hold off the checkmate, and Malish has taken 4th place with a handful of laps to go here. Looks like it's going to be another solid points day for the Czech driver. Gautier's got a 10.5 second advantage on Takuma Taki here.
Yeah, no, I think currently the only 1-2 finish right now was Simpson earlier in the year, so I think Racing Point may join them if long as there's no incident between the 2 drivers. If there is a team war, they may come up in the closing lap or 2.
Yes, at least this season, that's the only other 1-2 we've had was the Simpson 1-2 at Portland. I'm trying to think if there. I don't think we had. No, we did have a 1-2 in 2023. It was the Bentleys at the Nürburgring. So those are the only 1-2s we've had so far since the reformation of the ARWS. Racing Point looking at joining that list here, but the question is, in what order will it be? We're eagerly watching Taki here to see what kind of lap time he's going to put in on this lap. Gautier comes through to start the 53rd lap with a 1 minute 40.9. Taki gets across the line, and it's a 1:39.9. That's only 1 second quicker. That's not gonna cut it.
He does have all this traffic to go through as we see Gautier put another car between her and her teammate, so that could be also a factor slowing him down.
No, there's actually no cars between them now. That was Taki getting around the Yonglong and Kara.
Oh.
But
are there any other lap cars up ahead that she may catch?
Fu-En. Oh, Fu-En's just gone off into the gravel. Just as I was singing his praises a little earlier for that opportunistic move on Summers, he overcooks it, right? Just like his teammate did earlier in this race, in fact. So, not a good day for Young Wang here. And that will allow Gautier through without too much issues.
He's waiting. Not a good spot to try to rejoin.
Yeah, waiting for the gap
He loses
in the
place to
traffic.
his team. Now lost his place to his teammate.
He will resume in 15th place. It doesn't look like he'll have to make another pit stop, and crucially, is well ahead of Carmelaverse Torrente, so that at least won't lose any points to the team, but it is a little bit embarrassing for him, I would imagine.
Yeah, since they should be fighting with, I think this will give the advantage to Foxdale in the battle up in the constructors' standings among the low-power teams. So Foxdale has their drivers are in 9th and 10th right now, a pretty strong result at this hold.
Summers has caught Naoki Shinjo for 12th place. I think the any chance of catching Zidane at this point is probably done for Summers, but she at least has a chance to pass one of the mechas here. As Taki's only taken out half a second from Gautier. She's... to be fair, although she's pretty far in her stint, she's only about a little over a second off her personal best pace, so maybe not like outright quick, but certainly has been very consistent with her lap times and keeping her tires in check, so
yeah,
that's one thing you can say for her.
Yeah, the strategy now is to hold out, don't burn the tires too much to get to the end.
Well, I think the strategy for Racing Point might be pull over and let our championship leader take this win, but I don't think Gautier will be listening to those transmissions. Of course, Taki has a contract for next season, whether he wins the championship or not. Gautier does not, so she's very much driving for her career at this point. Racing Point, of course, will be leaving the leaving ARWS by force at the end of the season, so I don't think she particularly cares what they have to say.
Yeah, I don't think he was ever on good terms with Williams' story to begin with, so even if the team wasn't leaving, it's hard to tell if she would even obey a team more at this point.
It's a 141.1. What's Taki got in the bag? 139.8. It's just he's nowhere near his personal best times.
I think he may be hoping for another spin out, as we've seen in the second sector. That could happen. Maybe that's what he's waiting for, so he can pounce on a fresh set of tires.
Well, unless it's Gautier that spins, I don't see how that's going to help him, because he's 8 seconds behind, and we've less than 4 laps to go. He's going to have to run about 2 seconds a lap quicker.
Yeah, I don't think he has the raw speed to do it. I think he's just hoping the track conditions will play in his favor.
Well, I mean, with 3.5 laps to go, there's really no time for that. He's got to get a move on. If he was running close to his personal best lap time, he might be able to get it done, but I
don't think he has the pace to catch her unless something happens at the front.
Also, looks like Torrente has also caught Yamamura, so we may also have a little bit of a battle here for 5th place in the closing laps. as Malish has gotten around Yamamura and pulled away to
Yamamura's been a
3.5
pretty
seconds.
subdued. Yamamura's been pretty subdued, pretty quietly impressive drive at the team. I know Vozu was who scored the podium in that car, but he is well ahead of the Japanese driver is well ahead of her in the standings, just outside the top 10, where I think Vozu is down. I know Vozu's been out for a few races, but he's clearly been like had her number for most of the season.
Yeah, Summers has gotten around Shinjo and taken 12th place from him. As Torrente now looking to put the pressure on Yamamura for 5th. This is looking like a good points haul for Jones in this race, as Taki's taking the lead down to 6.6 seconds with 3 laps to go. Again, he's gonna have to pull out about 2.5 seconds a lap at this stage to catch up to Gautier and Passer.
He has the. There's now there's also a young one right in front of him too that could complicate things.
Yeah, Torrente there has to get an extra little bit of slipstream, but it does the job. And the 2020 Formula 1 World Champion has taken 5th place from Akira Yamamura. So this is looking like a great result in this race for Jones, with Torrente 5th and Cameron 7th. That's some badly needed points.
It's also a strong haul for Adriatica as well. They're running 6th and 8th right now, or 7th and 8th right now.
Yes, Burrell was able to get around McFry a few laps ago, it seems.
Diego's gonna try to get around the young one, put a car between him and the Yamamura.
Yeah, but I don't think Yamamura really has the pace to be able to do anything with Torrente. I think Torrente on the free stop strategy, I believe, and Yamamura's tires, I think, are pretty second-hand at this stage. Gautier rounds the final corner. There's 2 more laps to go for her.
You see Taki in the background, so he's about a couple corners behind her.
141.3 was the previous lap for Gautier. 139.9 for Taki. Again, he's still running a second off his personal best. 5 seconds behind with 2 laps to go.
He's already passed the Don. He has to clear this other car. That'll be important.
Summers as well. And they'll just, I mean, might cost their time, but then again, Taki will also have to get around these cars himself to even have a shot at her. So sensationally, this could be a 1-2, but in the wrong order for Racing Point.
Yeah, that loose wheel is a bit of rotten luck for Taki. It could have been much worse if we see with the Bentley some higher retirements in the later half of this race.
I do believe the team radio Williams story is repeatedly making impassioned pleas to Gautier to pull over and allow Taki through.
I won't call those pleas. I'd call those hinted at threat, if anything.
Yeah, thinly veiled threats is perhaps the correct term, but Gautier does not seem to have any interest in
begin the final lap. She begins the final lap, having lapped one of the peak racing cars.
Yep, that is Summer. So we've got 2 cars, and that is 3.7 seconds between the 2 racing points here. Quite impressively, Gautier still put in a 141.4 on that previous lap, despite having to lap 2 cars. Meanwhile, Taki in clear air could only manage a 1:40. So it's just, it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. He gets past Zidane easily enough, but he just doesn't have. Unless Gautier literally stops on the side of the road, I don't see exactly how he's gonna catch and pass her. She negotiates the tricky clear curve without any issues. Now heading into the final sector of this lap. Taki still hasn't even caught Summers, let alone gotten around the peak.
Yeah, they're starting to spread out. So as we're coming into the very last area, the double straight.
Yes, the back straight here, Gautier has absolutely no intention, it seems, of pulling over. And she gets around the final corner. And Amy Gautier will hold on to win the race. Gautier wins the Malaysia Grand Prix. As Takuma Taki will take second. It's a 1-2 for Racing Point. But I think there may be consequences for Amy Gautier for taking this win. 3.4 seconds was the final margin there. Summers will take 12th, and Shinjo in 13th. Malish comes through to secure 4th place, another very solid result for Malish. Kara winds up 14th. Diego versus Torrente, very impressive 5th. Fuen 15th. Akio Yamamura 6th. Emma Kickert will complete the podium after a pretty torturous race. After all that, she still wound up only 32 seconds off the pace of Gautier in this race. Cameron will come through to secure a very valuable 7th place for Jones, in addition to Torrente's 5th. Kamala versus Torrente will be our last finisher of the race in 16th. Burrell gets a solid 8th place. And McFry will come through in 9th place. And we're just waiting for the last couple of finishers now. Ben Fleet will complete the top 10 for... the double top 10 for Foxdale, in fact.
Max Sedan will be the last car to cross the line with his 11th place.
Indeed, quite a solid performance by Zidane in this one.
Considering that they finally seem to have hammered out the reliability issues that seem to plague that car, he seems to have a decent pace once there's no longer a mechanical issue.
Yes, definitely. So, Amy Gautier has won from Taki, and Kicker rounding out the podium here. As for our retirements, well, it's another double retirement for Holiday, as they still seem to have woes with that transmission. Both Greenlaw out very early, and Nicola running away with the race before his own transmission failed him. There's also a double DNF for Bentley and also the March 16s. And both Euromotors, in fact. So a lot of double DNFs in this race.
Considering how human Malaysia is, this is I think a little underwhelming for reliability. Could have been much worse, knowing what the conditions that Sepang can often throw at you.
Yeah, well, we did have quite a race of attrition last time we came here, of course, and it does seem that the teams have perhaps learned their lessons a little bit. We did have 16 cars finish. A few did still have mechanical issues, but definitely... Sorry?
I don't think that'll make Taki's day much better, even if it was a minor mechanical issue.
Well, I mean, I think I imagine he'll at least be pleased to know that his main champ, that the only person who finished ahead of him is no threat in the championship whatsoever, because Gautier is so far behind with all the bad reliability she's had.
He kept Kicker behind him. He's doing what he needs to do to hold on to his current points lead.
As for the fastest lap points, Philippe Nicola has the full bonus for the fastest lap. Kicker and Holm also claim the other fastest lap points, but that is a significant gap between those three, and Takuma Taki with the fourth fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, it seems. Yeah, the rock speed was not the only decider here. How those three drivers perform.
Yeah, Gautier with actually the slowest fastest lap of any of the i3s. I think she was just focusing on running a very steady race, it seemed, because she wasn't really in any battles with any other driver throughout the vast majority of this race.
Yeah, I believe that was her first win, or
Yeah, that is indeed her first win. And potentially her last if Racing Point wind up firing her for this.
but she was originally raced in 2020, but then got screwed out when the old series shut down, and then she did not have a drive for 2023. So the fact she was able to come back and score a win hopefully puts her back on the books in a way like say Alberto Cara did last season.
Yeah. But in any case, that is the Malaysian Grand Prix. And we'll see you next time for the Japanese... no, it's the Kinkai Grand Prix from the Suzuka Circuit. So we'll see you there.
Our first of our 2 Japanese rounds. So we'll see you then.